Hello everybody, welcome once again to another Let's Play session with me, Ira Robinson. Tonight we're going to be doing the new game Surviving Mars. This game just came out a couple of days ago on Steam. It's made by Paradox, and it's a really interesting game, I think. And it's one that kind of is right up my alley. It's sort of a cross between RimWorld and the thought of what happens if you play RimWorld, and it's very much on a larger scale, macro level kind of thing. And yeah, it's a very interesting game, and I've seen some people give it a little bit of bad reviews, oddly enough. But you know, sometimes that happens with brand new games. That there's people that are out there that just don't want to accept it's a new game. Oh my god. I've been enjoying it. I've put I just got it opened up yesterday, and I've already got about 16 hours worth of playtime in it. So yeah, it's a little bit of a fun game. I thought it'd be interesting to share it with all of you guys out there. And so yeah, it's interesting. Let's go ahead and get it started here. It's at its core, it's a city building or actually a colony building simulation sort of game. And it's published by the same company that came out with Cities Skylines. For those of you guys that are aware of that game, it's a very good game along the lines of like SimCity and that kind of thing. So yeah, they've done a pretty interesting job with this. I think there's still a few little kinks that they need to work out yet, but they'll get there, I think. And you'll have to pardon my voice. I am at the outskirts of having a cold. For those of you guys that watched my show earlier tonight, my live show Open Eyes, I've got a little bit of a throat problem going on and a little bit of a nasally thing going on. So we'll muddle through it as best as we can. And with it being a game, I don't have to quite talk as much, although I'll try to walk through things as much as possible. So we'll get ourselves started here with a brand new game. I do have a colony that I've already created, but, you know, I like to do things fresh when I do these Let's Plays. So we'll start off with a whole new beginning colony and kind of go from there. The idea basically is to put together as much as you can in order to survive life on Mars. You literally are the first colonists that are going to be appearing on Mars. And before we even get to the colony stage, we have to set up infrastructure with drones and that sort of thing, which you guys will see here as we progress. But when you start off, you can start off with different sponsors. You can start off as a different kind of profile as the commander, which gives you some different bonuses. You can also change things as far as the mystery is concerned. Each playthrough of the game will have a different mysterious kind of thing that is associated with the planet Mars, and there are quite a few different ones. I've got it on random, and I'll keep it on random. I have yet to actually encounter any of the mystery things. It's sort of a mid to late game situation that goes on with that, and I just haven't gotten there quite yet. So right now we've got it selected as the International Mars mission. It is the very easy setting. It gives some nice bonuses as far as your colonists are concerned. Rocket synthesized fuel, food supplies extra, colonists don't get Earth sick, so on and so forth. I've done the USA, and I've done the Blue Sun Corporation. I like the USA. It's pretty nice. You get a decent amount of starting funds. It's not the instant I win kind of button or anything like that. And when they say it's easy or very easy or normal or things along those lines, the game is pretty difficult as it stands. So, you know, setting it on the easier kind of things to begin with doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an easy game. The game is pretty difficult as it stands. It's called Surviving Mars for a reason. But anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and select the USA. You can select others as well. Again, the Blue Sun Corporation, if you start with this, you can buy applicants with funding. That's for when you are ready to get colonists to come in and start actually living in the domes and stuff. You get a certain amount of applicants that are available for transport from Earth. With the Blue Sun Corporation, you actually get to buy extra applicants. So, you know, it makes it a little bit easier. Anyways, so additional rockets are significantly cheaper. Probes can discover deep rare metal deposits, and bonus tech deep metal extraction, so you can extract deep metals and deep rare metals deposits. Those are kind of important. Later on in the game, that's sort of how money is made. A lot of metals are needed in the game. The USA, with the USA, this one, you get a large rocket payload, so your rockets can store more space. And there are periodic additional funding. So basically the Earth, the United States will send you occasionally like $500 million in cash and stuff like that. You could do China. China has a lower amount of research per sol, which means per day. A sol is a day in the game. You get 8 million in funding to begin with. You get a little bit higher of a metals price, I think. No, it's the same as the USA. And the starting applicant pool is 200 as opposed to 100 from the USA. You can also do Europe. Here, I'll hover over them. I won't read them off, but I will hover over them for those of you guys that are watching later. You can pause it and take a look to see what you get. The Church of the New Ark looks interesting too. They're very religious. All of the colonists have the religious trait. The birth rate is doubled, so you get more children. You get religious trait, which means that nobody will suicide no matter how bad their morale gets and that kind of thing. And hydroponic farms do not perform as well. That's one of the drawbacks. So you can also do Russia on top of it. So Russia is definitely the hard one. You get bonus fueled extractors, but that can be problematic because it consumes a lot of extra resources. And you can also get prefabs for the fuel refineries a lot cheaper. But they also have a longer travel time for their rockets to get to Mars from Earth, which can be an issue if you have an emergency situation happening. Instead of it taking, a couple of days, it might take 6 or 7 days to get there. And that's a long time to wait. So again, I'm going to choose the United States, the USA, for the starting mission sponsor. They're not too bad. And then again, you can choose a commander profile. Now, each one of these does something different for your colony at large. So if you have, for instance, the oligarch profile, fuel production is increased by 25%, and you get the bonus tech of the arcology, unlocking a residential spire, which is a decent thing because space is limited when it comes to hey, I wrote a story called Space is Limited. If you guys want to check that out, you can go to my website, originalworlds.com. Anyways, I had to throw that in there. So anyways, the amount of space that you have for living is pretty limited. It's a bit difficult sometimes. The hydro engineer, you get water reclamation spire. This is really nice. You get the 70% reduction in the amount of water that's used in the biodomes for your citizens. Really, really good one, especially if you're on a section of the map that has very little water resources available to make use of. Because again, it's Mars. Water is limited. Doctor, psychologist, all these do something different. But the inventor one is a really good one. Drones are gradually optimized to work and construct faster until Sol 100. So until the 100th day in game, they will be working better overall as the game progresses or as the time progresses. The bonus tech with this is the autonomous hubs. Drone hubs no longer require power or maintenance. That is a really, really nice bonus when it comes to playing the game, because drones, you're going to need a lot of them. And in order to really do anything, you're going to be spreading drone hubs basically all over the place. And the fact that they require less power, you can sort of put them into areas, like, for instance, you can set up colonies much more spread apart and not have to worry about having a large infrastructure to be able to support that. You can have them be more individualized without having to worry quite so much. So that's a pretty good trait. The hydro engineer is also a really good one. That water reclamation is really nice. Let's let's see, futurist, you get autonomous sensors at the beginning, and breakthrough techs are researched 30% faster. We'll get into that when we get into the research stuff. Doctors get the STEM reconstruction, which means that colonists' lifespan is increased. That's a pretty good one too. Comfort, also required to give births, is lowered by 15. So your colonists will be more likely to have babies going on. The psychologist is another nice one. They recover their sanity while resting in their homes a lot better. And they also get the behavioral shaping, which unlocks the sanatorium spire, treating colonists' flaws. In other words, making them so that they are more behaviorally modulated. That can be important if you get a lot of colonists that have a lot of flaws. That could be a good one. So, politician, Martian patents is a repeatable tech that you can do in the research that will give you money coming in. So you're kind of corrupting, all funding gains are increased by 20% as well. So if you're after, a lot of funding to be able to support your colonies, doing the politician is really nice. Ecologist, this one's okay, but I don't know. It's just, it's not that great. Okay. So this one is another really nice one. The astrogeologist allows deep scanning, which is more for mid game, but if you have it towards the beginning of the game, it does make it nice to build colonies in ways that you normally wouldn't do. You can set up colonies to be basically mining colonies, and get a lot of metals and rare metals to be able to sell. You also start with a rare metal deposit revealed, which is, it's good or bad. You can do whatever you want to with it. The extractor production is also increased by 10%. That's kind of, whatever. But rocket scientist, you start off with an extra rocket. You get the CO2 jet propulsion unlocked, which gives you shuttle hub and long-range transportation. That can be really nice as well. If you have a lot of domes that have your colonists supported, they cannot normally travel from one dome to another. So if you have a bunch of domes, or you have a few domes and you want to be able to move one colonist or two colonists that aren't really shaping up very well in the one colony to another one, you can't do it until you actually research the tech for shuttles. They have to be shuttled from one location to another. So having that early on could be beneficial as far as that kind of thing goes. I'm going to go ahead and choose the inventor. I like that tech. It's a really nice one. That having that autonomous hubs at the beginning of the game is really nice. Let's go ahead and select, let's see. This is our logo for our company. It's what appears on our drones and all kinds of stuff. Mr. Handy. For those of you that like Fallout 4, there you go. We'll go with the alien, I think. That one's a pretty nice one. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and click next here. So on this page here, you can rename your rockets. You can basically rename everything in the game. We'll be renaming some things here and there as we go. But this page here lets you select what you're going to start with. So the amount of metals that you're going to start with, polymers, machine tech, all of that stuff can be chosen on this screen right here. We're going to go into the prefab buildings just to take a look. So we're going to start off with one drone hub. You have to have a bare minimum of at least one drone hub. It's really important. Don't leave home without it. Moisture vaporator is to collect water from the atmosphere as opposed to using a water deposit. We're not going to worry about this right now because we're not going to get colonists anytime soon, and we're not going to need to worry too much about water to begin with. So we're going to skip that. That's sort of weight and money that we don't need. Also, every time you launch a rocket, it has a certain amount of cargo capacity available to it. And that limits what you can send at any given time. Fuel refinery is also what we're starting off with, so that we can refine fuel to send our rocket back to Earth once it's refueled. And it creates the fuel out of water. 2 Stirling generators. These are what generate power. And you cannot actually create the Stirling generators until you learn the technology for it later on in the game. But you can make solar panels and wind generators and that kind of thing, or wind turbines. But the Stirling generators, they generate a heck of a lot of power at the get-go. The factories you cannot do anything with until you have colonists. They are built in the domes, and the colonists work in those to make things happen. Since we don't have any colonists going on, and we're not going to have anytime soon, that's kind of useless. So we'll go ahead and just keep everything standard as it is for right now. We're starting off with 2 orbital probes, which means that we can scan some of the area around where we're going to land to see what's available. Got some electronics, machine parts, polymers. We're not going to worry about concrete or metals. Those 2 things we can collect from the planet itself. And food is obviously not really necessary because, well, we're not going to have any colonists anytime soon. So now you can actually select the place on the planet that you want to land. Literally you can select anywhere on Mars. And what's cool is that the locations, the topography, and so on and so forth in the game is actually based on real Mars, so to speak, topographical maps that have been done by NASA, sending the probes and everything over to Mars. So like what you see is kind of what you get when you get on Mars, and the topography is there. It's exactly kind of how it looks. So you'll see here on the right hand side, this is telling you some information about the selected site, so the place that you click on. This is the actual grid location. The average altitude is below sea level. It's 2,000 meters below sea level. The mean temperature is -15, and it's relatively flat, which is good for building larger spread out colony fragments. This shows you the amount of metals, concrete, and water that are going to be available on the map as a default without having to really dig for it. Concrete's very useful for building structures, so the more concrete you have available, the better. I think the most important for our needs are going to be metals and concrete, preferably more metals, because metals are what you end up really running shy on, and concrete seems to be all over the place. This also right here tells you basically how many or how likely you are to have these particular kind of threats happen to your colony as you go on. So as you can see in everywhere that you click, there's kind of a different setup for these different resources and threats. So boy, there's a lot of dust storms there, for instance. So that probably would not be a good idea, you see. So we're going to try to find a place that is relatively decent without having a whole lot of threats happen. Meteors are a pain in the ass. Boy. All right, so this one up here has a lot of concrete, very little metals, very little water, and a whole lot of cold waves because, well, it's very close to the North Pole of the planet. Let's see. This one has a lot of concrete, a lot of water, lesser amount of metals, but this one wouldn't be too bad, I think. That's not too bad of a site. Not a whole lot as far as threat goes. See, let's kind of spread around it a little. Trying to get it so that it has maybe 3 on the concrete instead of 2. And just not as much concrete in this zone, I guess. And we'll move on a little bit here, I guess. You can also just select a random site somewhere on the planet. Wow, that would be horrible. I've never messed with the custom. I don't know what that one does. Oh, I see. It's so you can name the particular colony site that you've selected. Well, this oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say this one wouldn't be too bad, but then it's got all those threats there. That wouldn't be good. Would not be good. Boy, oh boy. I don't want to start off with too much difficulty. I mean, you know, I don't want a lot of threats. Again, it's already kind of hard enough as it is. Very little concrete there. The ones that are like like you're seeing the little target there, shows areas that it recommends as starting areas. Well, this one wouldn't be too bad. I think maybe 3 metals, 3 concrete. Let's see. Oh, well, there we go. That's not bad. We can do that one. Yeah, I think we'll do this one. We'll just start with this one. How's that? This is a pretty decent one. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and make ourselves land on the planet. It's kind of creating everything right now. So generating the map.
Welcome to Mars.
Why, thank you. All right, so again, we are the USA and the inventor. So we're going to go ahead and pause the game here real quick. So this is where you kind of start. And again, hints will be up here popping up on us once in a while. This is where we're selected, you know, on the planet. This is the area that we selected. So basically, it starts off with one sector of this particular map scanned. And we can either choose to build there, or we can use our orbital probes, of which we have 2 available, to target other sectors, either around the sector that's been chosen or elsewhere completely at random, to try to choose a different spot. So I'm going to clear that one out. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So that one had... Well, there's 20 metals available on that spot. Very crappy. There's only 72 available there. But there is an anomaly there, and I'll explain those once we get into the game a little bit. So we have one other probe that we can use. Do I want to do it either there? So there's only 10% of a buildable area there, because most of that's inaccessible. And most of that's going to be inaccessible too. It's kind of a crappy place that it put us, having the availability up here, because all of this is going to be pretty inaccessible to us to build on. Well, I'll tell you what, we can choose a different place. Now you see it says there's a high chance that this sector contains metals and concrete, which is what we really need to start off with, is both metals and concrete. So this one has a more likelihood of having concrete than metals, because it's concrete is above the metals there, you see, and this one says metals and concrete, so this one has more metals than concrete, but it's probably going to have both. So 84% buildable area here, and the area around it is a little bit flatter and more available for building, I think, than up here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and choose, let's see. There's some water there. So this actually would be pretty good. I think we'll choose this spot because water is more than likely on this spot right here, which would be useful when we actually start to build colonies. So we reveal it. There's a lot of concrete there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's underground metals and rare metals there, too. So that was actually a really good choice. So, okay, we'll go ahead and do this then. So now we're ready to select our rocket. As you can see, it has on it all of the items that were purchased when we were on the screen there before. Let's see. Now see, it's trying to set us with that top one there. We don't want that. We're gonna make it force down into here. So we get to choose the landing spot for our rocket, and this is going to be sort of our beginning area that we're going to work with. You can see right there's the rare metals. Right here's the metals that are underground. Here's the concrete. and there's some metals that are scattered around on the surface and stuff as well. So I think we'll kind of butt ourselves up against this area right here, since we can't build anything over in here. Anyways, we may as well just sort of plant our rocket right here. So we're coming in for the landing. We'll go ahead and unpause the game now. And we're coming in for the landing. It looks so cool. It's a little shark. And it's got our logo on it. So our first things are going to be popping out here, and that's our rovers. We have 3 different rovers. There's the transport rover, the transport RC, the RC rover, and the RC explorer. Each one of them does a different thing. So the explorer is good for is useful to go out to the anomalies and capture them or research them, basically. And each anomaly can provide something different. It can be like a potential underground deposit, for instance. It can be new technologies that you can unlock to be able to research. It could be a scenic view. I mean, there's a lot of different random things that it can end up being. But that's what that particular rover does. It goes out and explores those. The RC rover, it basically is a drone transport. And as you can see, it has a circle of influence around it that it can make use of. So the drones will be able to wander through this area and do whatever work is necessary within that certain zone of influence. The rocket itself as well has a zone of influence, which is going to be kind of cut off because we butted it up against here. But it's able to control any drones that it has on hand within that circle of influence there. Now, we do have a drone hub as well, which we're going to make use of. And we'll probably put it like over in this area over here so that we can get usable terrain out of all of this stuff in here. Okay, and then the RC transport. This particular rover, it's able to go out and collect metals, polymers, so on and so forth, and bring them back to your colony site. It can also grab things from different storage facilities that you set up and transport it between one and the other. It's a pretty useful little tool. So right now it's also telling us that we need to select something to research and an area to scan. So the scanners are constantly running in the game. You can keep them active at all times, but you have to select the areas that you want to scan in particular. So right now this is technically not scanned, even though we have our rocket ship landed in there. But we're going to go ahead and have it scan here, here, and here. And we may as well do that spot too. So you can select up to 4 sectors at any given time to scan. Or is it 5? I think it's 5 actually. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so there's 5. You can queue it ahead of time 5 different times. So it's useful for doing like quick exploration. Now, they don't work very fast. It's about one every couple of days will get scanned, but it will reveal basically whatever happens to be in that location, whether it's an anomaly or metals or whatever the case may be. So, okay, so we'll go ahead and get ourselves started here. There we go. Okay, so then we choose a research topic that we're going to be doing. The research tree is huge. So these are the different types of different research you can do. There's the biotech, engineering, robotics, physics, social, and then the breakthroughs. And for every game that you start with a different randomized item that's been revealed as a tech that you can research. So this, for instance, the hygroscopic vaporators will not be the thing that you start off with, more than likely. as your first biotech research. It's randomized every time. The whole tree is completely randomized each time that you play. And as you can see, there are a lot of different things that you can end up researching throughout the period of the game. You can select up to 5 things at a time to research, 5 in a queue, and you get a certain amount of research points per day that you can that will be applied to whatever you're researching. And depending on what you have going on in your particular colony, you will get a different raised or lowered amount. So I have 300 to start off with each day coming in because I have the United States as my sponsor. As you raise in level, or not level, but as you progress in the game and open up more and more, there will be technologies that you'll be able to get that will give you more per day. There will be you can have researchers that are working in one of the domes, for instance, that will be contributing more. So that amount raises as the game progresses. So let's go ahead and select our first text that we're going to research. This one, the water production is good, but we're not really going to need that yet. Let me see what else is here. Low G hydrosynthesis. That's to create or to be able to build the polymer factories and fuel refineries instead of needing them as the prefabs. That's important for later on, but we're not really needing it at the moment. Okay, yeah, here you go. Explorer AI generates 100 research per sol, in other words, per day, for each RC Explorer vehicle that you have. Multiple vehicles really result in collaboration losses. So it's diminishing returns, basically, is what it means. That one is a good one because that will give us 400 research per day since we already do have one of the Explorer vehicles. So that might be a good choice to do for the first one. So that way we can get more research done quicker. Low G turbines. This one makes it so the wind turbines generate 33% more power. That's a really important one to do. Productivity training. Engineers and geologists have a +10 performance when they're working in their specialty. It's a nice one to have, but again, that one's not really necessary right now. The social tree is definitely about your colonists. The biotech tree has things as far as like different things that'll make your colonists' lives better and your colony in general better. Engineering is about new buildings, new vehicles, making better use of the buildings and vehicles that you have. Your robotics is about specifically the vehicles as well. Physics, that one is for, kind of a catch-all sort of thing for the others that aren't there. And then the social, again, is for your colonists, pretty much specifically. Or things that are relating directly to the humans, whether it's people on Earth or here. And then the breakthroughs, you won't find the breakthroughs until you actually go through and find anomalies that have a breakthrough attached to them. You may not actually get very many of these. Just it kind of depends. But I have one that's right now. This is because I am the inventor commander profile. I started with the autonomous hubs for the drone prefabs as my breakthrough. So, okay, we'll go ahead and start building here. So you right click to build. We have the drone prefab as our starter kind of thing. And as you can see, it shows you the circle of influence that this particular drone hub will have. So wherever you see the lines, anywhere that's inside of those, it's going to be able to control the drones that it has. So, see, we're not going to be able to build very well on that zone right there, are we? Some of this area over in here might be, but it's going to be a little difficult. There's a lot of rocky terrain there that the domes, for instance, can't be built on. This one here is much more flat, and we could probably stick a dome like right in here. But it all depends on what what's available. So I'm kind of taking a look for future use, basically, where I want to stick my drone hub so that I can make better use of its space. So let's see. See right here, we've got a big crater spot that we can't do anything with. And this right here is too rocky to do anything with as well. I think I'll just butt it right up against this. Since this is not a buildable area anyway, it'll be an okay spot to put it. So, okay, you see right now it's got a little unhappy drone face on there. This construction site is being cleared. It's outside of drone commander range, which means that there's no drones that are available right now to come and build this prefab. You see, it's outside of the rockets range, so there's no drones that it's able to do. And right now it's outside of the RC Rovers range, which has its drones, but it has a more limited area, you see. So what I have to do is actually go ahead and bring that rover closer to that spot so that the drones can then come out of the rover and build that site. So I'm going to go ahead and speed the game up as well, because it runs a little bit slow if you run it on just the standard speed. It's a little bit slow, and I don't like to just sit around and wait. So as you can see, the little drones, they're coming out to go and build the thing here. We'll slow it down here for just a second. This is pretty cool looking. They got their little blueprints out. They're building it. He's like, hey, yeah, buddy, I'll come over here and help out. So as you can see, they're actually putting it together right now. And once it's done, you'll see its drones start popping out. And there we go. Yep. See, there they go. That's its drones right there. So now I have a larger sphere of influence that I can make use of. And basically anything then that I build within this zone, the drones that are in here will be able to take care of it. They'll be able to maintain it and collect any goodies that are generated within it, and so on and so forth. So okay, one of the first things that we're going to need to do, we're going to need to consider this right here. This is a rare metals deposit, which is very important for the game. This is how we get money later on in the game. We can sell the rare metals back to the planet Earth via rockets. We can send rockets away from Mars back to Earth and have them buy those rare metals. That's sort of our purpose here. So it's pretty important to have rare metal deposits that you can make use of on the planet. And then I didn't actually set the research, did I? Well, we'll take care of that here in a bit. And then the metals deposit here, this is the regular metals. It's not the rare metals. This is what basically a lot of the game makes use of for maintenance, for building, so on and so forth. Between metals and concrete, that's what's really made use of. And this big yellow patch right here, that's exactly what that is. It's a concrete deposit. And this concrete deposit has 2,122 concrete available to be able to be made use of. So what we need to consider is the fact that when it comes time to build our first colonist's dome, it also has a sphere of influence surrounding it. You see, everything basically that you can build like in the game like this has a sphere of influence to it. So the sphere of influence, I want to be able to make use of that rare metal deposit and that metal deposit. So what I need to do is build the dome in such a way that both of these items are within its sphere of influence, you see. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to make use of that. Oh, yeah. If I build it right here, like this spot right here, it has both of those deposits within its sphere, you see. So what it would happen is the colony would get built right here, and then we could build the extractor right here and the extractor right here. So I'll go ahead and cancel that building. I didn't actually mean to place it down, but you get the idea. We're not ready for a colony site yet. We're not ready for that dome yet. But anyways, it's important to kind of pay attention to that towards the beginning of stages of what you're doing, so that you don't build anything within the zone that you're going to be building the dome in. Otherwise, you're just going to have to tear up your infrastructure and rebuild it in such a way that won't happen. And that's not always the best of ideas. So the reason why I set the drone hub down in the place that I did is so that I can have this whole concrete patch within its sphere of influence, because we're going to need to basically build a couple of different extractors for the concrete. And it has a certain range that it can work in before it loses itself, basically. So we could put 3 concrete extractors total on this patch and just mine the ever-living crap out of this patch of concrete. But it's important to put the extractor down in such a way that the sphere of influence will be having an effect. So I think we'll go ahead and put it right here. That'll be a good spot, I think, to start it off in. So again, when you lay down something that you're going to be building, it comes up with this little blueprints type of situation. This is showing you what the thing is in particular going to be able to extrude from. And it is within the sphere of influence of this drone hub. So it'll be the drones will come and collect the concrete and the waste from this extractor and put them in their appropriate spots. So, okay. I know that this area right here is not going to be able to be built on. It's too rocky. The terrain is not really available for us. So I know also that the concrete extractor will be throwing out a lot of waste rock. So what I need to do is build a storage facility as a dumping site for that waste. So as you can see right here, this is not available to build on. It's showing up in red because it's uninteractable terrain. I can, however, put it right here. Now, did I put that within the sphere of influence? I did. It's good. So I'll build a couple more as well. Okay, so that's going to be where our drones will be dumping waste rock that's going to be coming from this whole concrete patch. And I laid down enough that it should take care of pretty much anything until this sucker runs out of concrete to pull from. So, okay, the extractors run off of power, which we don't have any of flowing in at the moment. As you can see right here, this shows you our power production is 0, oxygen production is 0, water production is 0, because we don't have any of the infrastructure set up yet to be able to generate that kind of thing. So we started off with a Stirling generator. We could also build large solar panels, small solar panels, and wind turbines. The power accumulators are what they're basically batteries. They're storage batteries for any power that's in excess that you generate. So what we want to do is we want to consider a place that we want to kind of have as our central power generation facility, where we want to have it be the most. Now, I'm thinking like starting it off right in this area right here wouldn't be too bad. We could definitely make use of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put down these Stirling generators. I think I'm just going to use the one for right now, only because we don't really need the doubled up power at the moment, because all we got running at the moment will be the concrete extractor. It's going to use up about 5 power, and this is going to generate a lot of power. So you'll see our drones, they're gonna let's see if we can select it here. Yeah, see, they're coming over here to actually build this facility. This right here is a deposit of metal, which I think that the drones have already been collecting some of. Yeah, because they're putting down some of the metals there. The machine parts are available here on the rocket. So these drones here, they cannot access that rocket. So they can't access the machine parts that are there within its field. Now, I could select the rover and bring it closer to the rocket so that both the rocket and the concrete extractor are within its sphere of influence. Now, as you see, the drones are going to come over into here. They're going to grab the machine parts out of this rocket. They're going to take them over here, and they're going to build that extractor because they're both within its sphere of influence. So it's important when you're building your different drone hubs and so on and so forth to remember that you're going to need some overlap in different ways so that your drones can make use of the materials that they need to maintain upkeep on your infrastructure. Now, as you can see, it says the building is not working. There's one building not working because we currently don't have power flowing to it. So right here, it even gives a message, must be connected to a power producer. It's going to use 5 power to generate up to 20 concrete per day. This is our generator right here. And as you can see, it's complaining because it doesn't have anything that it's connected to. And it generates 10 power per hour. See? Daily production 120 power. Now, we could also open it up. And if we open it up, it generates 20 power per hour. But the problem with opening up a Stirling generator is that as it's open, if you get a dust storm, it's going to be useless and it's going to be damaged because it's open to the dust. So right now we're going to go ahead and keep it closed. I just wanted to show you that as the example. Okay, so again, important to remember your drone's sphere of influence need to overlap in some kind of ways for you to really be able to make effective use of everything that's needed to be done in the game. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my storage tab here, and I'm going to select a couple of different storages. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that the storage units are going to overlap between this drone producer or drone hub and this this rocket. So you see how the sphere of influences are overlapping here. I'm going to need to put those storage facilities somewhere closer, somewhere within that sphere of influence there, the doubled up one, so that it can so that the drones can move the items from here to the storage facility so that this drone hub can make use of all of the materials. Hope that all made sense. You should see it here in just a moment. So there are different types of storage facilities. You can do a universal depot. This will allow you to store 30 of every item within its area. Not bad, but it's better to build specific storage facilities because they will hold up to 180 of those resources. So you use the universal ones if you have a lot of like random items that you need to make use of, food, polymers, all that stuff will be stored within that universal one. But if you have kind of more space to work with, it's a little bit better to use the actual types. So what I'm going to do for right now is I'm going to build a concrete one. I'm actually going to build a couple of them. And if you tap the middle mouse button, it will rotate the item that you're trying to build. But I'm going to put the concrete one really close to the concrete extractor so that the drones don't have to walk quite as far to do their job. So I'm going to actually build a few of them right there. And they're also going to walk the waste products from this thing because it creates waste rock that'll be transported over into here. Waste rock is kind of useless until you get way later into the game where you can kind of repurpose it back into concrete. But until then, you kind of just have to store it wherever you can. So then I'm also going to build a couple of universals just to get the items off of the rocket. We'll just put them right over in here for right now. That should be good enough for quite a while right now. So again, all of that is within this drone hub's range of influence because this rocket, once it's been refueled and ready to go, the sphere of influence of it will be gone. So, all right. So then we need to build power cables from the Stirling generator over to the concrete extractor so that it can start actually working. So what we're going to do is going to set. I guess we can just start it right here. Kind of trying to think for future use here. And I think, yeah, that'll reach it. Okay, so then the drones will go ahead and come over and start building this these power cables. And you'll see this then start right into work. So right now they're collecting these random metals that are scattered across the surface, and they'll run the excess of them over here to the universals because I don't have a metals one set up yet. So it looks like it's morning time, and as you can see right now, the concrete is being extracted. So that concrete will get moved onto these platforms right here by the drones, and they'll also then move the waste products over to these facilities. Gonna let the game run for a couple of moments so we can get some concrete established before we start building more. Oh, I never did set up the research. Duh. I knew I was missing something. Yeah, so I was going to do the Explorer AI as the first one. I just never clicked on it to actually get it started. Duh, that was dumb of me. Let's see, is there anything yet that I want to make use of? Yeah, we'll do the turbines as the second one. That way when we start building more power units, we'll do the wind generators, and they'll generate 33% more power. That'll be nice. Having that towards the beginning is a really nice one. You can kind of help to cut down a little bit on the amount of resources that you're doing to generate power. I'm going to switch the radio station. Right now I've got it on Surviving Mars. I'm going to put it on the official Mars channel. It's got some pretty good tunes to it. They're not too bad. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. Oop, yeah. It's got some nice music to it. I like the way that they did the radio stations in the game because they even have like little announcers and that kind of stuff that come on and talk to you too. So it's humorous. So yep, right now we've generated 12 concrete. Let's see, what's it say up here? Sensor tower, yeah. So we need to start with building our sensor tower so that our sensors can reveal a lot of the map sooner. The sensors towers do require power. They do take a metal and a electronic part to make. They consume 2 power and they consume 1 metal for their maintenance. I think I'm just going to kind of plop it down over here with this power cable. That'll work. So the drones will come over here and build it as they get the chance. You can set things to have a higher priority as well. So if you wanted to, prioritize building something or repairing something or things along those lines, you can set it to have a higher priority. And
sector scanned. Anomaly found.
So, okay, so we got our first sector scanned, and it found an anomaly. So as you can see, it actually revealed it right here. It also revealed that there were no resources in this slot, which is disappointing, but not unexpected. So this is, it's showing a key, and basically what this means is that if we get the explorer to come over here and reveal this, it's going to reveal more technologies on the research tab that we can make use of. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and have our explorer come over here and, well, explore it. So hopefully you guys are enjoying so far. This is Surviving Mars. It just came out on Steam a couple of days ago. It's also on GOG, Green Man Gaming. It's pretty much everywhere. It's out there in the open. Anyways, it just came out a couple of days ago, and it's a very fun game. I've been enjoying it. It's very relaxing, for the most part. Until the disasters start coming.
Anomaly analyzed. Milestone achieved.
All right, so we got a milestone complete. We got our scanned an anomaly. And new
There's
techs are
more
available.
to the barren environs of the Red Planet than meets the eye. A veritable treasure trove of undiscovered knowledge and wonder. So long as you know where to look.
Indeed. So as you can see on the research screen, it revealed two more technologies that we didn't have opened up before. So it revealed subsurface heating, and it revealed extractor amplification. Now, the amplification is nice. It does increase the production of your extractors by 25%, but it consumes 10 more power. If you have a very large power grid running, it doesn't really hurt to have that. But I don't really care for it because sometimes you get into power situations that are really bad. Subsurface heating we may do later on. But right now I'm not too worried about it.
You're listening to Mars Official Radio with Panna Masculine, your first radio host choice with the best radio voice.
Sector scanned.
Okay, so it scanned another sector, and it revealed that in this sector, there are, 60 metals available scattered around in it. I'm going to go ahead and turn the music down just a little bit. There we go. Don't want to annoy everybody with it. So it revealed that there were 60 metals that were available to be extracted somewhere within the range of this particular sector. So I could, if I wanted to, send my transporter over here. Yes, I know about water production. I could send my transporter over here and see if I could basically dig out the metals. Yeah, I don't really see them very well, though. Let me see. Maybe when daytime comes along, I'll be able to spot them a little bit easier. At the moment, I'm having a hard time seeing them, though. Also, your RCs, they do require power. They have a battery, and they do require power. So,
Sector scanned.
okay, so as you can see, all of the goodies within this rocket have been taken off. It's basically at this point just waiting for refueling so that we can send it back to Earth and be able to make use of it again. So I can go ahead and move these drones away from it and over into the greater section of things here. I'm going to go ahead and move the rover onto the power cable, and that way it can charge up its battery. You'll see that here in just a second. Maybe. Come on, guy. There we go. Now he's charging. So the other area got scanned right here. So, okay, let's see if we can spot these metals, wherever they may be. Well, I was kind of sitting right next to it. So he can carry right now up to 30 different things total. That's his capacity. So right now he's got 4 metals, 5. And so as he extracts from here, after he's full, we'll send him back up here to drop off.
Milestone achieved. Sector scanned.
So we found water on Mars. That was our achievement that we got. So this sector that got revealed shows a deposit of water right here, which is going to be useful. Actually, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. So that means that we don't have to worry about moisture vaporators if we don't want to. We can build the water extractors, which are a little bit better. We don't have to worry about basically using the prefabs that we have to buy from from Earth to do it. And happily enough, it is within the sphere of influence of that drone hub too, so that's nice. That'll work. So how you doing over
Welcome
here?
back. I'm Panem Public Service Escalon, a nickname I got in my youth when I was a part of the public service revolution. My home country used to have serious restrictions on freedom of speech. When democracy finally came, other forces took control over the broadcasting channels. I fled to America, where some compatriots and I started up an underground news network.
Sector scanned. Select a sector to scan.
Reported news. It was very successful and grew into today's public service network, the least corrupt network on Earth. And now for some music.
Okay, so there were no resources available in that other sector, which is not really surprising. So, okay, I think he's full now. Yeah, he's full.
Research complete.
So we'll go ahead and have him drop off the stuff over here. So we got our Explorer AI research done. That's good. And then you can see it just went right on into the low G turbines. Now we have 400 research available per day that we can use. And since we researched this, now this has opened up. So what we had open up was a drone swarm. So drone hubs are constructed with an additional 2 drones, and the maximum number of drones is increased by 80. Very nice tech to have. So we'll go ahead and research that after the low G. We'll go ahead and make use of that. So I'm trying to think, did they? Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go ahead and build a metals storage here. We're going to have him unload the metals onto that. And once he gets done with that, we'll send him back down here, finish collecting up the rest of the metals that were down in this area. I think they were
Sector scanned.
So it's scanning pretty quickly. That's cool. Another bit of metal that he found. Yeah, there's still a pretty decent amount of metals there that we can make use of. Go, transporter, go. So we've got 107 metals at this point. Not too bad. Not too bad. Getting a decent amount of concrete as well. So we can go ahead and start building the rest of our infrastructure stuff here. So the idea with the extractors, as you can see, they again have their own sphere of influence. Whatever you're going to be extracting from needs to be within that that zone. What is that? Oh, that's a metal deposit. Okay. Anyways, their own sphere of influence has to be within the range of whatever it is that you're going to be making use of. And the little dots that are coming off the side of it there, that shows the exits for the pipes for this particular facility. So we'll go ahead and just plop that sucker down there. We're going to have to run a power cable basically from down here up to there because it, again, requires power to run. So we'll go ahead and do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and run a little cable right there. And I think if we just run the power cable straight up, that would do good.
Sector scanned.
It got thrown a little bit off, but that's all right. So we just got $500 million for funding from the U.S. That's good. I like this little tune. This one's a good one. So they built the power cables up in here. I don't remember. Did we see another anomaly? I don't think we did. Nope, we didn't. Disappointing.
Sector scanned.
There we go. Good boy. Okay, so right now it's complaining about not having anything connected to it. Must be connected to a water consumer of some kind. So it's not producing due to the lack of demand. Can produce 4 more if needed. So basically it can produce 4 water at any given time. Right now it's not producing anything because we don't have anything connected to it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and set up some water towers so that it can start collecting the water. So again, it's important to pay attention to the areas surrounding it and what you're being able to build with. The drone hub, I can go up to here. But as you can see, this area over here is going to be inconstructible, so I can't really actually do anything with this area over here. If you see my water tower, basically it can't do anything from this point over here, basically. So what I can do, sort of as a way of helping myself out, I can make use of these dead areas to put some of that other side infrastructure, like the water towers, battery accumulators, so on and so forth, so that they're not actually taking up living space throughout the rest of the map. So I'm going to build 3 of them over here, and I'll run the pipes from the extractor right there.
This is Mars official radio with Pen and Public Service Escalon. We have a soundtrack just right for the.
So it's complaining about a building not working. That would be the concrete extractor, because there's not enough power, because the water extractor over here is taking up all the power. So what I can do, instead of building a second power source, I can just open up that Stirling generator and have it double its power output, because we don't have a dust storm going on right now, so we don't have to worry about it being exposed.
Research complete.
And now we have the low G turbines, which means that if we want to start building the wind generators, they will generate 33% more power than what they normally would, which is a really nice one to have. Why did it build the pipes like that? That's kind of weird. I didn't realize that they got put down that way. Oh well, it's all right. I'm not really going to be making use of this area over here anyways for anything else, at least that I know of. Now, I did build those within the sphere of influence, didn't I? Yes, I did. Just barely, but I did. So the drone should come over and build those once they've got the metal for it. Which I think that's what he's doing. Yep, he's going to build the water tower. And there we go. So now this, as you can see, is producing 4 water, because it's putting it into this water tower, which can store up to 100 at any time. Not bad. Not bad. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put down a
Sector
couple of
scanned.
Thank you. No resources again. I'm going to go ahead and put down a couple of these wind turbines, I think. I've got 21 machine parts. These take machine parts to maintain, so we're going to definitely have to get more machine parts from Earth. We don't have the ability to build those ourselves yet, even though we have metals. But they'll take some concrete, they'll take some machine parts to build, but they will generate a nice amount of power that we can start making use of. So we're going to go ahead and we'll lay them out kind of nicely here, I think. I like to pretty things up, you know? Have things be nice and symmetrical and pretty. Yeah. And that will be plenty of power for quite a while. As you'll be able to see, we're going to have quite a power surplus. So what I'm going to also do is build a couple of power accumulators. We'll go ahead and put them over here so that, again, they're kind of out of the way of things.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found. Select a sector to scan.
Nice. Okay. Well, we'll do that here in just a minute. I'm going to put the accumulators over here. They take some concrete and some polymers, but believe me, having a couple of the power accumulators handy is very, very nice later on down the line when you start having problems with power. We've got the power cables over like that. So those will start collecting the power for those times when we really, really need it. Okay, so we found an anomaly as well, and we need to select our sectors to scan. So we'll do that one. I guess we can start spreading out this way and see what's going on up in there. And then, yeah, right there's the anomaly. Oh, good. It's another set of technologies. It's kind of weird. It was like right there, but nobody saw it until the sector got scanned. Hopefully everybody's enjoying so far. Again, this is Surviving Mars. Pretty fun game. I've been enjoying the heck out of it.
I'm Panamasculine, and you're listening to Mars Official Radio, your reliable source for the music you love.
It's kind of one of those chillax kind of games until a disaster happens, and then when the disaster happens, you're like, oh my god, I hate this game.
Anomaly analyzed.
Good, we got new technologies. Let's see.
There's more to the barren environs of the red planet than meets the eye.
So we got soil adaptation, which is a really nice one. This will allow us to build a farm once we get a dome going. The farms are really, really good for producing food. We also got the, let's see, adapted probes. No, we got the adapted probes from doing the other research that we did over here. Earth-Mars Initiative, that was the other one. So this increases the research provided by the sponsor by 100. Wow, well, that'd be really nice to do, right? Because we need more research points to be able to get our research done faster. So we'll have that come next. Let's see, how much do we have so far accumulated? Yeah, this one's just about to unlock, so I'm not going to worry about canceling it and all that. It's all good. So, we're starting to get pretty low on polymers and electronics and machine parts. So I'm going to go ahead and set another rocket to come. We have 2 more rockets that we can have land before we have to refuel and send them back to Earth to be able to make use of later. Or we could just buy one. But they're pretty costly, so I'm not going to worry about that. So we're going to choose the cargo rocket because we're not set up for passengers yet. The prefab building, we're going to go ahead and select another drone hub. We've got about 5 million that we can mess around with. So we're going to get, I think, 2 drone hubs so that we can kind of spread from where we're at right now. I'm going to get a fuel refinery. Did we have a fuel refinery? Hold on. Let me check that real quick.
Sector scanned.
Yeah, we do have one as a prefab, so I need to go ahead and build that, actually. I haven't done that yet. I'll take care of it here in a minute. Anyways, okay, so we don't need to worry about the fuel refinery because we have one that's available to us right now as it is. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 drone hubs so that we can start spreading around a little bit. And let's go ahead and choose a bunch of polymers. It's going to cost us a lot, but we're going to definitely need to make use of them later. Machine parts and electronics. Okay, so that's the max space that we can make use of. There we go. I think that'll work. So we'll be down to about 2.1 or 2.3 million, but that's okay. So we'll launch that. It'll take about 3 days for it to get here. Three sol days to get here. And then once it gets here, we'll choose a place for it to land that's within the range of this drone hub so that we can make use of it. So let's go ahead and build the fuel refinery. The fuel refinery takes water as its resource to create its fuel. And then that fuel will be delivered to the rockets that land so that we can send them back to Earth. So what we're going to do, I think, is so that I don't have to run the pipes like all the way down into here and stuff. I'm going to build the fuel refinery up in this area up here.
Cable fault reported.
Okay, so cable fault got reported. Basically what that means is there's a spot in my cable line that just went bad. The drones will come along and repair it. It is still generating power, but that power is being leaked, so it's a lesser amount of power. It didn't break entirely, which is good. That means that this accumulator isn't actually disconnected because of the cable fault, but it is draining power, like literally. So yeah, so we're losing 5.1 power per hour while that cable fault is in place. And I can go ahead and, yeah, we'll make sure that the drones get there to repair it.
Research complete.
Okay, so we got the drone swarm, which means that those drone hubs that we put down later will have an extra 2 drones with them. Which is nice, because, you know, you need those guys. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put the fuel refinery right here. Yeah, that'll work. That way I don't have to lay a new cable, and it can also make use of the pipes that are already there. I think it will be able to anyway. We'll see. So I'm waiting on one more polymer to be delivered here by a drone, which he is currently doing. That works. And the little drone over here, he's busy doing his little droney thing, repairing it. The drones are so cute. I gotta admit, I like the way that they did the drones. He's just like, yeah, see me, I'm looking. I'm bad, yeah. Woohoo. Getting down. I like the way they did them. They're cute. So, okay, this power accumulator
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Oh, good. We found another anomaly. And it looks like it's a breakthrough. Good. That'll work. We could use a breakthrough right now. So I'll go ahead and send the explorer over there. Okay, so our payload is ready to be delivered. Our rocket has arrived from Earth. It's currently carrying all those materials that we had requested, so we just need to select a landing place for it. I'm just going to put it, I think, right... let's see. I don't want to mess with those metals that are there. I'll just plop it down right over in here, I think. Out of the range of the influence, but I can bring that rover over to the area. Red rover. And then it can unload all of the goodies from it.
Breakthrough discovered.
Safe mode breakthrough. That's a new one on me. I haven't seen that one. When a colonist suffers a sanity breakdown, they fall asleep and wake up after 6 hours with 70 sanity. Colonists can't commit suicide or gain flaws due to sanity breakdown. That's a really nice one. I will say that's a really nice one.
This comes from Tony. Hello, Miss Public Service. I've been a long-time fan of the great music you play. Regarding our future educational system, I have an idea. If our kids start their training at age 4, they will likely reach the sufficient academic level to start their lives as productive citizens by age 20. What do you think? Tony, your proposition is appealing, but I doubt that children can absorb abstract information any earlier than they already do today. Instead, I suggest we exclude subjects that don't apply to life on Mars, like domestic science, art, and handicrafts. Okay?
Okay, so I selected the low G drive as the next research topic. The drones and the rovers will move 25% faster. That's a really nice one to have. especially when you start getting in further into the game and have like a lot of breakdowns happen on your power supplies and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't look like he's quite close enough. We'll move him up there. There we go. Now he's within the sphere. Isn't it? You guys moving over there? Oh, you guys are extracting the metals. Gotcha. Well, that's smart of ya. Move that over there, though, so that I can make sure that they're within the range. Yeah, there we go. Now they're unloading. So they'll move all that stuff over here onto the universal platforms. I think there's enough room for them.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Yeah, they're leaving. Oh, we got another anomaly. Nice. Oh, it's another breakthrough. Okay, well, that could be useful. Let's see. My drone has enough power, so we'll send him over there. So our water extractor not producing because of lack of demand. So the water towers are full. So it's kind of shutting it. It's putting itself into shutdown mode, basically. Yep, the fuel extractor is working. Or the fuel refinery, sorry. So it's currently consuming 1 water, 5 power, and its maintenance is 1 machine part to create 12 fuel per day.
Breakthrough discovered.
Project Phoenix. Now this one's a nice one too. When a colonist dies, there's a 50% chance he or she is reconstructed as a youth with the same traits. That can be very useful for colonists that you've got that have a lot of really nice traits to work with, which we'll get into that later on as we progress through the game and get ourselves ready for the new colonies to come in, which we're not too far away from at this point. I'm just about ready to build our first dome over here. Just making sure that we've got enough power, enough water, and I need to start putting down the oxygen generators and stuff so that they'll be able to live. Otherwise, there will be problems. So the fuel is going to go via these drones right here. That's going to be dragged over here to this set of stuff here, and then these this rover set of drones is going to be loading that fuel onto the rockets to refuel it to get it ready to go back to Earth. As you can see right now, this one has 7 fuel in it. It's going to need 60 to take off. This one doesn't have any right now yet, so but that's okay because it's still unloading everything anyways. So it's going to be a little bit of time before we can launch those back to Earth, but they'll get there. In the meantime, we can go ahead and start ourselves with the oxygen production, which we can do by these Moxies. Produces oxygen, no production during dust storms. So that doesn't work during dust storms. You got to have some storage facilities of oxygen
Research complete.
on hand in order to let your colonists survive. Okay, so we got the Earth Mars Initiative research done. That was the increasing the research by 100. So now we've got 500 per sol of research coming in. Really nice. And that unlocked Mars crowdfunding, which gives us a nice amount of money right at the get-go, basically. So we'll go ahead and do that as well because, well, having money is nice. So right now we're doing the low G drive. That should be done within a couple of days here. So, okay, so the Moxies. They produce 2 oxygen. Yeah, 2 oxygen. Consumes 2 power and 2 metals for maintenance. Costs 5 to build. So how much metals do we have right now? We have 137 metals right now. 187 concrete. Not bad. So the Moxies, they use these pipes, the life support pipes, basically, to function and deliver oxygen into wherever it's going to need. So I'm going to go ahead and build a couple of them along these
Pipe leak
pipes.
reported.
Yeah, pipe leak already. Really? There's barely any pipe there. Why are we leaking already? All right. Anyways, and then going to need to run power to them. Let's go ahead and do that. So, okay, now we have this going on. The constructor, or the concrete extractor, its storage space is full. So there is no storage available for it to put any more concrete, according to it. Now, it's a little confusing because, as you can see, there's concrete 11, 31, 35. There's plenty of space for concrete, right? So what's the problem? Well, the problem is this. The waste rock is not getting delivered here. Now, that doesn't mean that the spaces are full, because as you can see, 40 out of 70, there's still space there, there's still space there, and there's still space there. So what's the problem? The problem is the drones have not been coming along to pick up the stored concrete and putting it into here, so it doesn't have any space available left to extrude concrete. As you can see, the storage space in here is full, so it's not going to run anymore until a drone comes along and empties out its container and puts it into these concrete storage facilities. So why are they doing that? Well, this drone hub has 4 drones, and it's under heavy load. As you can see, the drones that it owns are currently very busy doing other things. So it's showing you which ones it owns by having the little schwa over it. This one, for example, where is he? There he is. This one, for example, is going to the dumping site because it's pulling out this creates waste rock as well, you see. So they're all busy doing other things, and they just don't have time to get to this. Now, I could jack this thing up as a higher priority, and they will come along here more often than they do anywhere else. I could do that, but I'm not really worried about it. Right now, I've got 180 some odd concrete, right? And that's plenty for me to do what I need to do at this moment in time. I could also have the rover come down just slightly so that it's within the sphere of influence of this extractor. But then it will stop pulling out from this, and it's still got a lot of ways to go. And it's the only thing that's removing those items from there. So basically the idea is you know, you're kind of limited on the things that you can do by the amount of drones that you have available to work with. That can be kind of a pain in the butt.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Oh, good. We found another anomaly. Nice. Finding quite a few now. That's good. This one's going to have another breakthrough. Really? Wow. We're finding a lot of breakthroughs. It's kind of weird. But I also found water in that sector, too. Quite a bit of water.
Vehicle battery low.
Uh-oh. Okay, so the vehicle battery low, that is this one right here, my Explorer. He's kind of running out of energy. And he is too, actually. I'm going to go ahead and bring him over to the power field so that he can recharge.
Cable fault reported.
This area up
Breakthrough
here is gonna be a
discovered.
problem, man. I'm telling you. Okay, we'll check that out here in a second. I gotta bring the Explorer back here before he runs out of battery. I don't want to have to go rescue him. Let him go there. He might be able to make it. Maybe. We might have to go rescue him. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we got another breakthrough. Which one did we get here? We got cryosleep. Passenger rockets carry 20 more colonists. Wow, that's really good. Normally the ships can only carry 12 colonists at a time. So that would raise it up to 32 colonists at one time. That's a lot of colonists at one time. But very useful indeed, especially if I want to, before I send my first colonists here, I'm going to want to unlock that, because that's, in fact, I'll go ahead and set it now before I forget about it. And I'll go ahead and turn the Mars crowdfunding to the next one. Because when I build the domes, basically the way that the game works is you have to prove that your colony is going to be able to survive before you can send in a second round of colonists. So the first round of colonists that you get is all that you get until you have proven that you can be successful. And if I can have 32 in that first little, I barely made it. That's cool. So if I can have 32 colonists as my first set, have kind of like a full deck in that dome, that'd be really nice. Because then I could definitely make use of the metals over here. That'd be really nice. Okay, so the Moxie is not getting built yet. Again, the drones are kind of busy. There we go. You see that drone? He just came over here and unloaded the concrete from here. But it's going to stop again here in just a second because it's going to get full again. There it goes. See, it just stopped again. It's okay, though. It's not really a priority to get more concrete at this moment in time. Now, to kind of resolve the problem that we're having here of having too few drones to work with this hub, you see the hub itself can have up to 100 drones. Now, it normally would have only 20, but because we unlocked that one tack, we can have 100 now. So what we could do to resolve the problem, actually, is do a cargo rocket and order drones. And those drones then could be used... could be reassigned basically to that drone hub and be able to work within its range of influence, which, we might just go ahead and do that. How far away are these rockets from launching? Still quite a ways. I've got a lot of fuel on hand. Yeah, I've got 35 fuel waiting to be loaded. But these guys are still working on this up here, too. I'm telling you, it's a pain not to have enough drones. It's sort of the limiter, It's sort of the limiter to the game as far as the amount of time that it takes to do things. It's a royal pain sometimes. So this guy's battery's getting kind of low too. I'm going to have to be watchful of it. How much longer do these guys have? Oh boy, there's still a ways to go. Where is his drones anyway? They're still plugging along. See, he has
Sector
4
scan.
drones that he
Anomaly
controls.
found. Select a sector to scan.
Oh man, found another anomaly. Nice. Nice. Okay, so let's do a couple of sectors here. get those. Okay, the Moxies are done. We'll have to take care of those here in just a moment.
Research complete.
Okay, so we got the low G drive. Good, because we're sending our little explorer all the way up here to explore this thing up here. And it's going to be another break. Wow, man. I have yet to see this many breakthroughs in a game. That's crazy. It's cool. But wow. What is up with that? The last games that I played, I had a lot of techs unlock. Just a crap load of techs. This time I'm getting the breakthroughs. Okay, so the Moxies, they are able to generate oxygen right now, but they don't have anywhere for that oxygen to go. So right now we need to actually build a couple of oxygen tanks.
Breakthrough discovered. Vehicle battery low.
Got another bit of cash from the United States. Yeah, okay, so his battery's starting to get a little low. We'll go ahead and just charge him up here real quick. Won't take him long. And then we'll just send him right back up there to keep on working.
Sector scanned.
Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, there we go. Good enough, they'll get back to work. Where are your drones at, dude? Is that them and it's just not showing it? Wait, did it hand the drones? Oh, it handed the drones over? Really? That's weird. Huh. That's okay, we'll take care of that later. Might be because he was low on power. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and set this rocket up to be priority for right now because I want to get this thing sent back to Earth so I can get the next load of things coming down. I mean, I know I can because I got a rocket that's available, but I don't have many landing spots left. I could get another rover, which will bring down another set of drones with it. I may. I'm going to go ahead and grab a bunch of drones, though. I may as well go ahead and get another drone hub while I'm here. Because believe me, we'll make use of it. Kind of future-proofing here a little bit so I don't lose money. I think while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and grab some more polymers and stuff too. You don't have to fill out your container or your cargo ship. You don't have to have a full load when you send it. It's just, you know, if you got the money available, you may as well make use of it. That'll be good enough, though. I think I'll get by with what I got there. Anyways, I purchased another bunch of drones because I'm going to assign them to this drone hub so it can make use of them. And I think when the ship lands, I'm going to land it like over here for right now, just so that it's a little bit easier on me to get the stuff off and I don't have to worry about this rover. They'll be able to work a little bit faster. Okay, so we're also building these oxygen tanks over here. They'll get there whenever they get there. Again, not too worried about that one at the moment because I don't have any colonists that need the oxygen at the moment. So whenever it gets built, it gets built. I figure right now I'm going to go ahead and just set this as the priority though, because I want to get the stuff off, you know, the rockets so that I can start doing the colony. Having those extra drones around, though, that's going to be helpful. So right now the ship is about halfway here.
And studied astrophysics. Physics is the science of matter, its motion, and its behavior in space and time. Astrophysics is the science of things like dark matter, a form of matter that neither emits nor reflects electromagnetic radiation. We don't know if it really exists, but it helps us explain the irregular movements of galaxies. It obviously doesn't get rid of all irregularities. After a little talk, it's time for a little music. That's regular.
So one of the oxygen tanks got completed there. Two of them did, actually. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. So these Moxies are working. Getting a pretty good surplus of power going on. That's good. Not having to worry too much about it then. So it sent its guys off to do the concrete stuff. That's crazy. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause it here real quick. I don't like this thing being in control of the drones that the rover was in control of, so I need to kind of find its drones and reassign them back to that rover. It's a little bit annoying. I'm not sure why it did that. It might have been because it was low on power when that happened. There we go. Okay, so that rover now has control over those 4 drones.
Sector scanned.
That's good. Now we should be able to get this thing refueled a lot faster. Yeah, it's up to 31 right now. Good. Good. How's the research coming along here? About halfway there. Okay, so the other breakthrough that we ended up getting is the vector pump. Moisture vaporators. Upgrade. Vector pump. Water production increased by 100. Wow, 100%. Nice. That's a good breakthrough too. Transport optimization. The RC transport harvest resources faster, and its maximum storage is increased by 15. That's a really nice one to have. I'll go ahead and research that as well. The adapted probes is a pretty nice one too. The probes are cheaper and can deep scan. I'm not too concerned about doing those yet, though. I'll do that one as the fourth one in line. Okay, so our rocket has arrived. That's good. We'll go ahead and bring that baby down. Let's see. Where should I put it? I guess right here. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, good, because that drone's still within range of it. Okay, so I know that this has all of those drones on it. We're going to have to go through and reassign all of these stupid drones. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. I'm just going to reassign them all over here to that drone hub. That was my purpose for bringing them down, so that they can get to work a little bit more efficiently. It's going to take a little bit of time. Sorry, guys. 'Tis what it is. Yeah, didn't get it. I missed it. There we go. This is kind of one of the only pain in the butt parts of the game that I've found so far. I wish there was a way that you could select multiples of the drones to get this done, but unfortunately there's not that option. Paradox is pretty good about patching their games, though, to do things like that, you know, where kind of the things that are discovered as being a little bit of a pain in the butt, they work out pretty good. So I can see them fixing that at least reasonably quickly, once people have kind of bitched about it enough. I think he was the other one. Yeah. And I do believe I got them all. Good. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and offload all of that stuff, and all of these drones are now a part of this drone hub. We're going to see things work a lot more efficiently now. Things are going to get done a lot better. So that's good. That's good. That means these can get refueled quite a bit faster too. And we'll get them off the planet pretty quickly. Funnily enough, though, this one's probably going to get refueled faster than the others because it's actually within the influence of this particular drone hub, which has all of the fuel and everything within it, too. And it's just the way it is sometimes, you know. It's funny how games like this prioritize things. Building not working. Okay, so that's the yeah. It's just because its storage is full. Again. So these guys are working quite hard. I think they're carrying the materials off of here. Yeah, they're picking up the polymers and all that kind of stuff from here. What are you guys doing? You guys are doing basically nothing, aren't you? Why are you doing nothing? Do something. Get to work. Do something. You're not seeing any of the fuel or something? Where is it? Oh, I see. It's because the fuel is actually probably still within this storage unit. Yeah, see, it's stored up here, so they're not actually able to get the fuel because... Yeah, okay, so I know what I can do with that. I'll go ahead and create a fuel storage unit depot over here so that it actually gets moved.
This is Mars official radio with Penem Askelin.
There we
Stay
go.
tuned. Enjoy.
Now they should
Take
actually
a
go ahead
break
and
just
move
chill.
move
Our
the stuff
sounds
over
will
there.
go down like an energy pill.
When they get the chance, anyway. So I guess in the meantime, since these guys are kind of sitting around useless, I'll go ahead and... you know what? Actually, before I forget, I better bring my Explorer back down here. So that he gets refueled. Anyways, I can go ahead and bring this guy down just a little bit so that he can control what these, you know, may as well get the concrete out of there and all that stuff. Since his drones were just sitting around twiddling their wheels anyway. There we go. So he'll refuel down there. And I can go ahead and, I think... Yeah, I can load the resources from here too. Good. I'll do that. Kind of forgot about the transport being able to do that too. So I'm going to take the fuel off of the fuel refinery here with the transporter. As you can see, he's loading it up right now. And I'll go ahead and bring it over here to the depot.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Another anomaly, huh? Well, this time it's a another breakthrough. Good Lord. All the breakthroughs, that's crazy. Crazy. Never seen that many breakthroughs. It's awesome at the same time. Makes things a little bit easier in the long run. Okay, so these guys are now refueling this thing pretty rapidly. And once it's full, it needs to get up to 60. Once it's full, we'll go ahead and launch it back to Earth so we can start bringing more stuff down.
Breakthrough discovered.
Hive mind. So we got the hive mind. What the heck is that? Residents in the arcology get a bonus to work performance based on the number of unique perks and specializations of colonists living in the arcology. Nice. I've never gotten the arcology. I have yet to get that one, so that's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and do the vector pump too. Whilst I'm here. I'll definitely be researching all of those breakthroughs though. Those are going to be very freaking useful. Very useful indeed. Almost there. Another 500 million from the USA. That's nice. That periodic funding from the USA is really nice to have. I will admit. That thing is really nice to have. Okay, so we've got this ready to launch. We're going to go ahead and send her up. Oh, well, it's got the polymers in it. What the heck does the polymers still doing in it? Oh, I see. It's because that... Oh, I see. It's that one. All right. I was confused there for a second. This one actually has the 60. It has enough to launch. We'll go ahead and send it up.
Milestone achieved.
There we go. The new milestone. We send our first rocket back to Earth. And off it goes. Nice little burn pattern on the ground from where it took off. Go ahead and bring that rover into range of the other rocket there so that we can get it refueled and sent back up too. So how much fuel do we have produced over here right now? 2. Yeah, it'll get there. So this rocket will be ready to go as soon as these polymers are offloaded. And it will do that. Let's see. Do we have full polymer right now? I think we probably are, actually. 30. Yeah, we're actually full on polymers. That's why it's not offloading it, because it doesn't have anywhere to put the polymers.
Research complete. Milestone achieved.
So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll put down a polymer storage. Okay, so we got another milestone. We got research to breakthrough by Sol 22. Nice. Got the crow sleep. All right, so now that that storage facility is built, these drones should bring the polymers out. Yep, see, now they're doing it. And then once it's done, well, we can go ahead and launch it right back to Earth. It came down, and it's going right back up again because everybody filled it up pretty quickly. That's awesome. It didn't even have to stay very long. So there we go. We are launching away. Nice. So once those get back to Earth, we'll have them available to us for sending things back again. We'll go ahead and start building on the colony at that point. We'll start making the dome and have the colonists start to filter in. I think, though, that this will be a really good place for us to go ahead and stop. I hope that you guys have enjoyed tonight. I've been at it for a couple hours now. Hey, Daryl, I just noticed that you just came in. Awesome, awesome. And James as well. Nice. You guys came in a little bit late, man. Killing me. But anyway, so I think this game will be enjoyable for you guys to watch as well. I will be doing it again maybe tonight. We'll see what ends up happening later on today, tonight, midnight, whatever, I don't know. 18-ish hours from now, somewhere around in there, I'll do it again. But in the meantime, my voice is definitely done. I'm a bit worn out, and yeah, this has been a fun game, though. I think that you guys are going to get a big kick out of seeing some of the later stages of things that I've been able to get to. We're going to go ahead and save our game here before we do anything else. We'll select it as a new save game, and we will do streamy. It's very streamy, so that we can continue on with it tomorrow. In the meantime, if you guys want to check out any of my writings, you guys can head over to my website, originalworlds.com, and see what I have on offer over there for you. And don't forget as well that we do go live on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Money and Change. The Positude podcast follows after that. And we'll be back again on Thursday live, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our shows, Brothers in Arms, and then on Friday, 7 p.m. with Open Eyes. Hopefully you guys tune in for the show tonight. I had a really great guest, Bobby Nash, on. He was incredible. Really nice guy to talk to and a lot of fun to listen to. So if you didn't catch that, you guys can get that in the archive right here on YouTube. Make sure that you guys hit it over there. In the meantime, keep safe out there. Have fun. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. And we'll play with you again tomorrow.